Everyone, welcome back to another video. Today is a full review of Map of the Heart version 3. This is the red heart. As you can see, it has the official notes on the back of the card, which reads feijoa. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's a type of fruit with tuberose and spices, sensual notes of musk and vanilla, and that's it. Those are the notes listed on the card. So fruit, vanilla, spices and musk, basically. Looking up the fragrance on the Harrods website, it lists a more detailed note breakdown of top notes bergamot, pink peppercorn and red apple. Mid notes feijoa, tuberose, incense and cinnamon. Base notes of sandalwood, vanilla, patchouli and musk. And it comes as a 90ml bottle as standard for £150 sterling. This is the worst sprayer that I have ever used. It's terrible. I feel like I have to say it just because it's so extraordinarily bad. It's just absolute crap. Sorry. It is a really bad sprayer. So this one, when it opens up, I'm not a fan of the opening. It's quite artificial smelling, but not in a good way. There's plenty of synthetics I think smell really good, and they're important for perfumery. I actually don't hate synthetics. A lot of people think that of me, but I don't. I own lots of synthetic perfumes. But this one is artificial in a way that I don't find appealing. You get this kind of vanillic smell that smells like a slab of rubber, and it's the best way I can describe it, and I smell it often in designer fragrances and mainstream fragrances. It seems to be quite a popular accord. I've no idea how it's made, but to me, when I smell it, I picture like a thick slab of soft rubber that's scented with vanilla, but like an artificial vanilla in this rubber texture. That's kind of what it gives to me. There is a slice of fruitiness around it which comes across more like apple, and a noticeable cinnamon touch, but the cinnamon is light but definitely perceivable. You notice it. It smells kind of mass appealing mainstream, but in a kind of a dull, muted way. It doesn't pop off your skin. It's not vibrant or exciting. It feels a little bit flat and a little bit dull. It doesn't really get me going, or I don't find it that interesting. It's not particularly, well, it isn't unique at all. If you know, when you look at the note breakdown, vanilla, spice, musk, some little bit of woods and fruits. So many fragrances copy these kind of notes, and you can get like far better versions of fragrance using these same kind of notes. So I wouldn't rush to recommend this to people, to be honest, after testing it on skin. I think generally it's relatively pleasant. It's okay. There's nothing particularly wrong with it, except it's not that interesting and pretty artificial smelling. The dry down, what I get is this smell that reminds me of the smell of skin, particularly maybe like if you've ever been swimming in the sea in a really hot country and you get out and you kind of don't have a shower in fresh water, you just let the sea salt dry on you. You have that kind of, it's your natural skin scent, but it's kind of salty. You get that in the dry down. It smells like kind of unwashed, salty skin. I don't mean unwashed as in unclean. I mean like I say, like coming off the sea and not actually washing yourself with clean water, just letting the sea salt dry on you and kind of walking around. You get that kind of salty, amplified skin smell, but saltified, if that's a word. Saltified. That's kind of what I get in the dry down. I suppose in a way you might relate that to kind of the blood smell, which might be a little bit salty. I suppose with a little bit of imagination you might relate the dry down to smelling somewhat of blood, Not really to me. I get more, like I say, the salty kind of skin vibe. It's definitely it smells like skin, but like amplified. Like it could be your natural, the way your natural skin smells in the dry down. In terms of performance, I found it a little bit weak. Even after applying it, I have to be kind of this close to be able to smell it at all. It doesn't want to lift off my skin. That is obviously skin chemistry dependent. Some people it'll work better on. For me, it stays very close to the skin immediately and just gets kind of worse, really. With the overall longevity being around 4 hours, which isn't hugely long. Again, skin chemistry dependent. You might get a lot longer than me. For me, I got 4 hours. With really, really close projection and sillage. I don't like the opening. It's too synthetic for my taste. And sometimes synthetics are great. Like, synthetics are really important for perfumery. I don't hate synthetics. It's just certain kinds of synthetics that I don't find appealing. This rubbery fake vanilla thing is one of those accords that's widely used in designers and kind of mainstream stuff that I don't naturally, I'm not attracted to how that smells, and this comes across in that way, which is, you know, it just doesn't appeal to me. In general, I would sum it up by saying it's relatively likable for mainstream. Like, I feel like it's a very easygoing, kind of likable fragrance in general for most people. At least in the opening, you know, you're going to get that kind of vanillic, spicy, musky kind of smell. Relatively pleasant for most people. I'm just picky. The dry down, again, salty skin, I suppose you could relate it to the idea of blood if you wanted to, and you put some imagination into it. Not that great in the dry down, and performance is a bit lackluster on me. It doesn't do very well on my skin. I would say it's completely unisex, and I would say autumn, winter, casual fragrance. I would not wear that dressed up to a formal occasion at all, not remotely. It's very casual. Altogether, I don't find it that original or interesting. Really, there's lots of perfumes that do a similar idea and do it a lot better, where we're talking about notes like vanilla, you know, spices and musk. That there's so many fragrances that you could pick that are way better. So to me, it doesn't stand out in the marketplace, so to speak. I think you might be attracted to it because the bottle is unique and interesting, and that might be the swinging kind of point for you. But in general, I don't feel like it compares very well to other fragrances with similar note breakdowns. Summing it up, vanilla-y, rubbery, a little bit fruity, a little bit spiced, going into a musky, salty skin smell. That's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you again next time with another one. Bye.